Chapter 55, Feel. We were right to start at number 18 because the opening line to Journal 18 after the greeting said, "This is the first time I have written in a journal because I have a problem, and the problem is that I have a crush on an 11-year-old boy who hasn't hit puberty yet, and his voice is still high, and I am an 18-year-old whose voice is an adult's voice now. This must be the day that she met Dad," Dr. Morcassi said. "June 1st, 1991, said Sam. So just after he turned 11, I said. "Yep," said Dr. Morcassi. "I didn't know she was embarrassed about having a crush on Daddy at first," I said. Who wouldn't with an age difference like that," said Sam. Dr. Morcassi then cleared his throat. "Oops," Sam said. "In your defense, I am an adult now, and so is Hannah," said Dr. Morcassi. "Well, you're right," said Sam. I wasn't offended per se, but I was just trying to teach you a lesson about what you should and shouldn't say in front of people," said Dr. Morcassi. "Lesson learned," said Sam. "You weren't 18 when you met her," I said. "Well, that can happen. I wasn't under 18 for very long, so let's move on," said Dr. Morcassi. "It took us about 40 minutes to finish reading 18, and then we moved on to 19. Mommy was dating these entries weekly, but when we got to the first week of June in 1992, she made a special occasion entry on the first day of June that started out by saying, 'It has been 1 year to this day that I first met my best friend Marvin. His voice hasn't changed at all, but I'm officially now his girlfriend because I cuddled him a few days ago. And in my eyes, we are boyfriend and girlfriend now, which makes me so happy. No one has ever cuddled me in my life, and it feels so amazing.'" The way the beginning of this one is worded feels so wrong," said Sam. "About cuddling?" I asked. "It feels like something I should not discuss with you," Sam answered. "Okay," I said. "Are you crazy? Mom would never do that. Remember when you were having behavioral issues as a toddler and Mom thought you were going to do that and she yelled at you?" Dr. Morcassi asked. "Oh, I never said I thought you would do something like that. I just said I think it is worded wrong," Sam answered. "Oh, I see," said Dr. Morcassi. "I still don't get what you were talking about," I asked. "And you were not going to until you were at least in 4th grade, Dr. Morcassi answered. "Okay," I said. "Let's continue going along," said Dr. Morcassi. It was about an hour and a half, and we arrived on journal number 21, and it opened with, "Today is my 21st birthday, and I got the best birthday ever. I spent the past 2.5 years after high school as an awareness all alone, but today Marvin converted to awarenism. As the high priestess, I poured a gigantic bucket of dyed blue water over his head because blue is his favorite color, and he is going to now dress in a blue cloak now when he is in public to segregate himself from society, because society is a terrible place because of its mistreatment of people with autism, except for the color blue, which is in his eyes, which is divine to him, as purple is to me. So now Dad is not Catholic anymore," said Dr. Morcassi. "This really is covering her life from 18 to 40, I guess. To I guess 40, I said, because I knew that 40 was going to be the biggest number of these. "And Dad's too, because she always brings him up." "True," I said. Speaking of that, do you know when they were going to get back when we have to hide this?" Sam asked. "Not until 10 tonight. They probably need a long day out because of how terrible vacation was," answered Dr. Morcassi. "Did they say 10 tonight?" Sam asked. "Yes," Dr. Morcassi answered. We then kept on reading until we got to 24, and when we got to 24, we got to the date of May 29th, 1996, and this was the entire entry. "He proposed to me for his 17th birthday, and I can tell that me saying yes is the best birthday present he ever got. However, I'm going to be with him forever and ever, purple and blue." And then the entry ended. "Oh my, it is almost 10. We should probably stop here for the night." "Good place too," said Sam. We then loaded the stash we found in the closet and shut it. Are you sure Mom doesn't check that? I asked. Mom only checks places that are dirty. Is your closet yet alone or room ever dirty? Dr. Marcassius asked back. No, I answered. Then no, Dr. Marcassius answered. So where will you like to be at this tomorrow? Sam asked. I don't care. We are alone. We are done with this as long as it is before the 8th. As long as it is before the 8th when we get back to school. And in my eyes, we are off to a great start, answered Dr. Marcassius. Okay, sounds like a plan, said Sam. I agree. Mommy and Dad even walked in, and we had to explain to them that we haven't been fed yet, and they were nice enough to cook us each a frozen pizza. By the time we went to bed, it was after midnight Robbinsog time. But weirdly enough, we were all up the next day, by 8 the next day Robbinsog time, probably because we wanted to keep reading the journals. We then continued reading and finished 24, and then we began to read 25, which was this one, of course, on May 20, and the most important entry in 25 was this one, of course, on May 29th, 1997. Our wedding was beautiful, and it was the best day of my entire life. Morven is now the official king of Robbinsog. The nation I am going to be queen over, and now has been established in this condo. Morven and I bought in the Chicago Loop as soon as we both said, I do. And now I have always been Queen Valerie Johnson, but now I, Queen Valerie Robbins, now have the body to govern over. Also, we chose the name Robbinsog because of the Og at the end of it, which is a nation named after our last name now. Well, now I know about the birth of the mother I was born to, said Dr. Marcassius. What do you mean by that? I asked. She was just happier back then, said Dr. Marcassius. Why? I asked. Dr. Marcassius was making before Sam stopped him. We don't know, but we are reading these journals to find out, Sam said. You think Mommy is sad now? Because I think that too. And so it began to get worse around the time Dr. Marcassius appeared and Marcus left us. I asked, which was true because I had never said it out loud. You think that? You think that? Sam asked. Yes, I just never said it out loud, I answered. Let's keep reading. We think that too, said Dr. Marcassius. We then finished up 25. After that, Mommy woke up, so we had to put it all away. We acted natural the rest of the day when we were around Mommy, and we just need to run some errands around the Loop and the Magnificent Mile. That night, Mommy and Daddy were pooped afterwards, so they decided to go to their bedroom and make love as they always do, and we continued. We were reading 27, and then we came across June 9th, 1999. There were just 2 words she wrote down. I'm pregnant! We then kept on reading until we got to January 1st, 2000, which was what Dr. Marcassius was really excited for. He's here! My son Marcus Philip Robbins is next in line for the throne of Robbinsog. He was born this morning and weighed exactly 9 pounds. I can't wait to baptize him into an awareness when the time is right, and I'm excited to be the one to continue running Robbinsog when I am in heaven. Here I am. I can't wait for her to talk about me, I said. It was only a few more minutes before we were done with 27, and we decided to stop there for the night. How long do you think we will make it tomorrow, Sam asked. I don't know, but I have a feeling we'll hit your birth the day after, I said. We have learned so much, it's almost too much, I said. Why, Sam asked. And even if it is too much, too bad, said Dr. Marcassius. I just love Mommy so much, and her writing this makes me love her so much more, because she is so happy that it is almost too much for me because I love her so much, I answered. So you're in love with her? Sam asked. That's gross, added Dr. Marcassius. It's not that I'm in love with her, but I do think she is beautiful and cuddly, and when she writes in her journals about how much it means to her when Dad sees her does it does get to be a little overwhelming, I explained. As an autistic person, I can actually now see where you were coming from, said Sam. Me too, because I study autism, said Dr. Marcassius. There was a pause as Dr. Marcassius turned out the light. I don't know what our schedule is going to be like tomorrow, but whatever we do, make sure we read as far as we can, said Dr. Marcassius. Sure thing. Sure thing. We can keep things moving along, I said. Agreed, said George. Good night, said Dr. Marcassius. Then Dr. Marcassius turned out the light and we went to bed. We woke up the next morning and we had no idea what time it really was. We just kept on reading until we made it through 30. We realized it was only 10 in the morning when we finished and Mom and Dad slept in. And then we had another typical day. Dr. Marcassius went up to Howard to visit Hannah to talk with her by sunset, and by sunset he arrived in Robbinsog. That night we continued reading. We continued reading pretty much 28 through 32, which was just Mommy gushing being over the Queen, and over Daddy and Dr. Marcassius back when he was. However, 33, Mommy writes down that she is pregnant with Sam, and then on June 1st, 2006, in 34, she writes, I just gave birth to my wonderful second son, Samuel Robbins. I'm excited to continue being a family with this beautiful boy. Well, here I am now, said Sam. Sam then kissed Dr. Marcassius and I on the cheek, and we continued on to 34, and then we were done for the night. Do you think we can finish reading these journals up tomorrow night, I asked. We're gonna try, answered Dr. Marcassius. I personally feel that today, our reading was a little bit more boring than other places, said Sam. I don't care. The return, Dr. Marcassius said before he was interrupted. Grandma, Sam corrected, left us these journals. For a reason we must figure it out, Dr. Marcassius finished. I didn't feel it was boring. It was all boring today, I said. Neither did I, but I have to agree it wasn't as fun today as it was other days, said Dr. Marcassius. I have a question that is really important, that is essential to tracking down the return, but we have been so occupied reading that we haven't thought about it, said Sam. What is it? Dr. Marcassius asked. If Mom hasn't seen her mother for years and years because she disappeared after her grandfather died, how is she able to get a hold of these journals? Sam asked. We were then stunned because that is a good question.